Hello, welcome back. I've wrapped up most of the things I need to do before I go to Black Castle. There's just a couple of other tasks to go. I want to buy this golden statue because I have the money for it now. What does this guy say? It looks like he bought me out. Cool. Does he say that when you buy 4 before he... No? That's probably the first time I've seen that dialogue. I forgot to talk to him before I bought that to see if it was different. Anyway, house is fully furnished. I will need to play the arcade games. I'm not going to just yet, though. One thing I want to do before I go to Black Castle, I checked a list of heart locations to see which one I'd missed because my numbers didn't quite add up. I have all but 6 hearts. 3 are from minigames. 1 is in Black Castle. 1 comes from collecting 20 ghost flowers, and the other one of those is in Black Castle. The one that, the 6th one, is in the curtain here. Apparently there's a screen just in the middle of the sky that I forgot to visit that has one of those stomp the enemies to get a heart things. Is it directly below here, I think? Yeah, I think this screen right down here. I need to do this bottom to top, that's right. Okay, so I have to redo that. Nearest save point is down. Try not to die while I'm doing this. Ah, the ghosts really love the curtain. Question. Did my golden statue save? Because I didn't save since I bought it. My crystal count was saved. I think it's one of those things that's... Yeah, okay. It seems like anything to do with crystals just saves immediately without you going to a save point. Because you can't re-kill bosses to get them, you can't redo treasure boxes, you can't replay blackjack. Anyway, let's do this better. So, same screen, bottom to top. Oh, that crystal. Okay, now I have to get out of here without dying. Okay, here we go. Save point here. So the reason I don't want to do the minigames now is I want to keep them available as a break from Black Castle if it just gets to be too much, as this is one of the hardest sections of the game. But here we go. 10 golden orbs. I wish there were a way I could speed this up. If I step off this little thing, he'll stop putting them in, right? Yeah. Have to be... weird. It appears right above me. I wonder if it's faster to stand closer to the right, because they have less travel time. It probably is. Hi, Ninja. Press S to skip. First screen good. Okay, let's see. This is a section I don't do very often because it's... Oops. Because the next save point is pretty soon in there. This usually just takes me a couple of tries to get through. Then at that next save point, I usually get stuck for a long time as I work in the next section. These rotating arrows are pretty much the worst thing in here. It's just so hard to control where exactly you go when you touch one. What do I do there? I don't think I can avoid double jumping. Can I avoid double jumping? I went too early. Can I avoid double jumping after I hit the first arrow on the next screen? This is super annoying. Alright, that works. if I hit it just right, which is way more risky because going up above it gives me less control of the exact time when I hit it. But if I were able to hit it perfectly, I'm wondering if I could get over and preserve my double jump too. Actually, if I could do that, then I could just skip that other arrow entirely. This might take a bit. That's really inconvenient. Oh, I had a good reference point for this. Yeah, right, so I remember how to handle these arrows. The best way is usually to pick an orientation and sort of a side you're going to hit them from, so that, like, my reference point for that was when the arrow faces straight down, I jump to my full height, then double jump into the bottom of it, and that lined me up perfectly. So basically I can just try a few things here. Let's try the exact same thing. Nope, that doesn't work. But it looks like when it's facing down... No, it'd have to be a little past down for that to work. Okay, so facing down, jump, full height, double jump into the bottom of it. Yeah, I always make it like that. So a little past the bottom. Not that much past the bottom. I'd like to hit the very top of it so that I could see if I could go high enough to preserve my double jump by not having to use it through there. Now, why is that so... When I go... Oh, why didn't that work that time? Oh, right, because that's not a... Yeah, there's still a lot of variation in when exactly I double jump. Okay, so that's not as reliable as I thought it was. Okay, so facing to the right, I'm going to go up, double jump, dive bomb. That's too far to the right. And this is pretty much just pure trial and error. There's no intuitive way to calculate this. And just very small changes in input timing can add up to very large changes in trajectory. So these things are annoying. They're one of the most annoying elements in this game. Since the save points are so close together, on a lower difficulty, I can just take the damage through here and probably make it. That's probably the reason, one of the reasons I have previously not spent much time in this segment, but now I'm finding it to be a time-consuming one. I can do a higher jump up there. That'll give me just a little bit more time. Then I can dive bomb on the way down if I need to get a little bit less time. Okay, let's do that. How about this? That was good. Okay. This screen doesn't require much input. I believe everything is automatic right up until that shaft above the red energy, at which point I need to steer left just a little bit. Then after that, it's pretty much clear to the save point. Not quite clear, but close. Okay, that wasn't quite automatic. Alright, that's all fine. Get double jump back. Aw, I didn't jump quick enough. Oops. Again? And for some reason that room suddenly became impossible to me. Yeah, it's not really a good sign that I've had this much trouble with the first little bit of this. The thing is, though, what I'm hoping is that after I get through this section that I've had very little practice on, once I get into the later section that I've practiced a lot, because I failed it so many times on Masterful, muscle memory should be able to kick in and I'll have a better time of it. I mean, I'm not having a bad time of this, I'm just not getting it done very well. There we go. Okay, let's get this. I'm going to double jump kind of earlier on the this part here, because I keep doing it too late. There we go. There we go. That's better. Okay, now the question is, will I die in this room? Yes, of course I will. Save point's just to the left, so I just have to get there again. Okay, first time in like 20 minutes I made it here. These arrows are annoying. So let's see, if I stick slide here, that won't help me. I was using a stick slide technique in the room below and 2 to the left, just because it let me get to the arrow more easily. Let's see, what can I do here? I need, how can I test this without dying? Okay, I'm gonna sit right here. Okay, so I'm gonna sit right here. I'll pretend that that wall to my right is the arrow. So if I were to steer right when that's facing down, that would be too early. If I were to steer right, or I guess it would be left when it's facing down, and just a bit to the left, that's about right. Okay, so assuming I measured my distance about the same, let's see how this actually works out. So a little bit down to the left. That was way too early. Okay. So straight to the left, I think, is what I'm looking at. Alright. Let's see if my pattern for this works at all. Right, so I stick slide here. That lets me look at a very specific position on the arrow and just steer into it without making any other inputs. Then I'm just at the mercy of gravity and the microscopic differences between inputs for that part to work. So there's very little I can do to just to be able to control that. The point I'm looking at for that arrow is straight down, or maybe just slightly to the left of straight down. So right now, that goes straight up, which is good. I go to full jump height, do a short double jump. That was apparently... Maybe I shouldn't go to the full jump height. Ugh. I guess I do have a tiny bit of control over that in the exact place where I collide with it. I can move left or right rather than colliding with the top of it, just slightly to adjust that. But the thing is, though, I don't have much information about how I want to adjust it. Okay, so what I determined was I want to start moving when it's facing left. That works pretty well. Okay, let's do that again and hope it just goes a little differently. Maybe a tiny bit later, although I feel like I was early on that. So probably doing the same thing again might actually just work. Okay, so that was too early. Yep, okay. So I'm gaining at least some intuition for when I've screwed up, even if there isn't always something I can do about it. That should be about right. Nope, too early. That's a new one. Okay, so it's been a really long time since I've seen this room, so what was I doing here? I went to this point, I waited for it to point left, then I just went straight into it and hoped that would work. So let's wait until let's be sure it's exactly left. Now. Oh, that was too late that time. Huh. Yeah, see, that's the thing about this. The fact that every frame those point in a drastically different direction, given the distance, the speed they rotate and the distance they catapult you to, I just have basically no fine control here. I'm trying to control something that requires fine control using very coarse-grained controls, because I don't know exactly which frame, like... There's not enough timing precision in these controls that a human can control, or at least that I can control, maybe some humans can do it, to know... to hit a thing on the exact same frame every time, relative to the way the arrow is pointing, to have any kind of confidence about whether what I've done is going to work or not. I probably could have double jumped there and saved myself. But see, I don't know... There isn't enough time to react to that and decide, okay, I need to double jump to save myself, or if I was too high, then maybe double jumping would have actually killed me. So this is pretty terrible. I am glad these arrows don't feature more prominently than they do. But there are plenty of them in this castle. Let's see, so there's the one room after this section, after I get to the next save point, that really gives me trouble all the time, has one of these arrows in it. I have to bounce off of it, shoot a purple thing up above through some spikes, land on it again to get to another section. And that's probably the room that causes me the most deaths in here. Although, well, that was unmasterful. We'll see how it actually goes on this difficulty. If I ever get there. It's very unlikely I'll get there today. I think after this section I'm gonna have to just go, okay, I was unable to double jump there. I hit the button, but it was not, my double jump was not ready. So, I just have to get the right trajectory with that through trial and error. Mostly error. Ah, seriously? That's rude. Okay, so... what exactly went wrong last time? I was too late on the thing, so I don't want it facing directly left. I want it a little bit short of left. So now. Not good enough. But see, if I just do that again, it's very likely to be in a different orientation, and it might work. So even when something goes wrong, I don't know for sure exactly what went wrong, or whether what I was trying will just happen to work the next time. Yeah, maybe that's really the essence of why I don't like these elements, just because when I fail, it doesn't feel like it's necessarily my fault. Okay, I'm going to try the same thing. My horizontal position here makes a huge difference too, so I'm going to use the reference point of when one pixel of my character is sticking out there. Okay. I think that's slightly farther away than I was last time, so I should go earlier? So now. Okay, should have gone a little earlier, I guess. One pixel sticking out, just like that. So slightly earlier than I was going, so now. That was too early. So I'm getting here a lot more consistently since I started using this one pixel sticking out reference point down below in the other place where I did a 6th slide, so I think that was probably the largest source of my variance before. Okay, so that was a thing I learned that was helpful. So now. Hey! I did something. Now let's just hope. I think if I hadn't steered into that, I probably would have been good. I don't know exactly why I did that. Because it was lining up. It looked like it wasn't. So for some reason, my thumb translated that into move right into these spikes. So let's see if this is consistent. Almost. I was close enough to getting that right that it's as consistent as you can reasonably be here. So I let one pixel stick out. I go when this is facing directly downward. And that was earlier than normal. Usually it would catapult me straight up. Alright, I made this work once. How did I do it? Like this? Nope, not like that. Hey, that's something. Do a full height double jump there. Do a full height double jump, see how that does for you. And if it's too much, then adjust it downward. So I have a pattern here that's worked twice in a row for me. Let's see if I can repeat it a third time. Nope, apparently not. I'm up, I'm doing a full height double jump. It works! It worked! Yay! Finally! Alright. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to make one attempt at this next section. Wherever I die, I'm just gonna stop and go play minigames. That'll give me sort of an idea of how much of a problem this is gonna be once I attempt it for real later. I don't think I'm safe on the left side of those. In fact, I think I just died. No, I am safe. Alright, so I remember the shortcuts here. You want to get on the ceiling, which I can use my double jump to do, but I didn't. Yeah, so I remember the layout of this place quite vividly because of the number of times I've had to go through it. This room always takes a very long time. It won't show up too much in the video because I'm sure I'll cut it out on most of my attempts. But just remember, every time I get past this point, I'm going to have gone through this entire long process to have gotten there. Like, it's not too bad to do, it just takes a long time. As long as I'm careful, I shouldn't end up in a situation where I'm just stuck. Yep, so however long that took, right, so let's see, there's a thing, I think if I go immediately here, that didn't feel safe. What's my reference point for this? Do I wait just a little bit? No? Whatever I did there worked. Okay, now in this one I do want to go immediately. That doesn't feel safe. Do I want to hesitate just a tiny bit? I guess I need to know what happens if I go immediately, so I'm gonna go left, hold the jump button as soon as I'm under the ceiling, and that feels scary, but it might work out. Okay, the answer is I need to hesitate just a little bit there. I want to make one more attempt before I leave this place. Is there any quicker way to do this? I mean, I know I can take this shortcut here, and the shortcut across the ceiling, but is there anything else? Like, if I'm super quick about this... No, there's just no way to win the race and beat the thing down to the bottom. You just have to go through this every time. Yeah, okay, so that's not too scary. Just gotta figure this room out. So what I'm gonna do is do this, hesitate just a little bit. I have to hesitate more. How much do I have to hesitate? I remember having a consistent pattern for that, but I don't remember what it was. And here I am making a third attempt after I said I would only make one. I want to feel like I at least understand what I need to do in that room. Then I'm just going to leave the castle because this is taking too long. Okay, so what if I come to a complete stop? Okay, so that's nice. At least if I do it too late. Okay, so err on the side of lateness. Because if I'm too late... oh, hey, I can make it. Neat. If I'm too late, I'm safe. So this room's pretty easy. I usually don't die here. Next room's pretty easy. It just takes a little while. The one after that is the one that gives me all the problems. I don't remember the exact pattern here, but I remember the general shape of it well enough to... It's only that one you have to shoot, right? Yeah. And that last one's actually unnecessary if you jump well enough there. Okay, so this room is the bad one. What is my reference point for this arrow? It's not straight down, is it straight up? See, the way I jump makes a big difference. If only there were a save point right here, that would be perfect. There might be on easier difficulties for all I know. Like this is where a save point should go. I'm going to try when it's pointing to the right. That wasn't terrible. I guess I went a little earlier. Okay, anyway, so that's the room that's going to give me all of the problems. Well, most of the problems. So I'm going to stop working on that for the day and go play, I don't know, let's play Keep Going. I like Keep Going. Maybe I'll only play one of these games each time because I can use them as a break from the second half of Black Castle and then Final Boss. I don't expect the Ninja 2 to give me too much trouble. Keep Going is... The unusable machine plays Astro Crash, so this must be Keep Going, yeah. I should have looked at the high scores to know what I'm aiming for, but I guess I'll just keep going as long as I can. I have my controller mapped a little better, so it's more comfortable to actually hit the action button here. How much is a trophy worth? 3? That's it? Those aren't... Really? 3. That's not much. So I shouldn't go too far out of my way to get those. It's better to just go fast. That's getting pretty dense. I might have to jump. I have to jump. So I should stop pressing the action button occasionally to be sure I know what speed the thing is scrolling at. Because that's important information when I need to move horizontally. Alright, seems fine so far. I feel like it's over 500 I have to get. I don't know if that's right, though. And for all I know, it could be different on Insanity, but for some reason I feel like since the Rainbow Dive scores were not... Oh! Rainbow Dive! I wanted to talk about that. I feel like since the Rainbow Dive required scores were not different, that these arcade machines won't be either. Apparently I don't or didn't understand Rainbow Dive scoring at all. A star you touch is worth 10 points, when you shoot is worth 15 points. I thought it was just a fixed point value per star. But it turns out that it's a little more complicated than that. So thank you for pointing that out, whoever it was that did it. This is looking pretty good. Especially for a first try in, like, years. That's 500. Uh-oh. Let's hope 500 was the score I needed. Is top score. That's actually way above the top score. Oh, wow. Well, that went so well, I guess I might as well do another one of those. Okay, let's play Jump Box. Jump Box and Keep Going I find interesting. Astro Crash I don't. Astro Crash is just something I don't want to play, really. I have a lot of trouble with Jump Box, mostly because it's a platformer that uses such different controls from the main game that it really throws me off. Because there's no... Oh, what happened? Did I double jump there? Since there's... deceleration is immediate, so is acceleration. That's why it's harder. Or, not harder, but that's why it's different. As platform games go, an Untitled Story, the main game... Wow, why am I having trouble with this? Actually has really slow acceleration and deceleration. Oops. I'd prefer if it were a little bit snappier on that. But it's... I guess the game's really just not as much about platforming as other things. Careful movement and positioning. That's another reason that the relatively low frame rate doesn't get in the way too much. A higher frame rate, I mean, it would look way better. I don't think it would actually help much with the possibility of doing those rotating arrows. Do those give me points when I touch them? No, they must not. No. Alright, I do want to go for those bonuses. You need to if you want the top score. Unless you're just good enough to get through. You know, I've never gotten through all of the levels in this. If there's such a thing as all of the levels. Maybe it loops at some point. Oops. Not gonna make it. You really have to catch those first few on the left edge to be able to do that. There we go. Bonus. The positioning of those is super awkward. Just the way that they so often just don't line up in a nice way to jump height. I'd better skip that. I don't have to. I can retry. Ah! Press the jump button just a little too early. And then I forgot to wait there. The top score that I'm going for... Hey, that might not be bad. Let's actually give that another try. Although this one... Doesn't this require a much higher score than the top score? I seem to remember I beat that score and it wasn't enough. So if I get something that's just slightly above 7,500, maybe I'll see if that's true. I feel like it might have been 9,000 or 10,000 I needed, but I don't remember for sure. Let's not die in a stupid way here. The reference point for those is you want to be about 2 or maybe 2.5 spikes down when you double jump. Like that. And you should make it. Otherwise you go too high. I think the reference point I use for that jump, the very first double jump in this level, is when I'm centered underneath the downward column. Yeah, see, that one's just annoying to reach. You have to do the jump like at the same frame you pick that other one up from the top. Going up before you go over is not really helpful. Alright, first try on that at least. I did die once so far, but that's okay. I'll be fine, I think. Oh! If I could have caught that, I would have made it. Well, I guess... At least I get the points. That was not how I wanted to do that. That worked. Maybe. As long as I don't die here. Yay! So a little more and I can have 7,500 and see if that's good enough. I am going to go for these. I got them, and I'm above 7,500, so at the very least, I'll have the top score. Aw. 83, that might be good enough. That is unpleasant. The answer is, it is not. Alright, so I need a higher score on jump box. And I don't think I'll be getting it today. Alright, so I got some jump box practice in, at least. And I still have that as an option for if I want to take a break from Black Castle or Final Boss, when and if I get there. Alright, so I'll resume Black Castle next time. Hope I have a little better luck in the next section. I'll see you then.